Hello everyone, Roberto here for another video review. This time we have Nestlé Yorkie Raisin Biscuits. So basically Yorkie is generally a sort of blue wrapped bar, or a blue wrapper, with just straight chocolate essentially. But this one's got, well as the name suggests, raisin and biscuit in it. Yeah, so we get a bit unusual really, because Yorkies, they don't do, well basically, I think they did maybe one other flavour, but I can't think what it is off the top of my head. But they've always basically just done two types, and rather than like a caramel or a regular, sort of type of variation to the bar, it's just raisin and biscuit. It's always been that way, and a bit unusual, I guess. We're not an unusual flavour as such, but just I don't know. Anyway, there we go. So I've never normally been too big a fan, because I've never normally liked raisins that much, but in recent times, after reviewing all these chocolates and things, I've been a bit more impartial, a bit more open to different types, and I don't mind them as much now actually. So I'm always a fan of chocolate with biscuits, so fingers crossed this one might well be one of my favourites, or at least going up there. So there we go. So I just reviewed the regular Yorkie, and let's say Yorkie to me is quite famous for shrinkage, because just of it used to be a 6-segmented bar, and and I know this because each segment used to spell Yorkie, so you have a Y, an O, an R, a K, I, and an E, so you'd have 6 segments, one for each letter. But now it's only 5, so they can't do that anymore. So it clearly has shrank. It's really obvious. They tried to say that it was to help keep you healthy, whatever. But basically it's clearly just to save money, isn't it? Really. So because the price hasn't gone down, I don't think. So there we go. So there we are. Okay, well, it's got a bit of big flourishes on here. Let's say Yorkie's famous for being a chunky bar. About 15 centimetres, about 15 centimetres for the flourishes. They used to have an advertisement campaign saying, "Oh, it's not for girls" or whatever, but it was tongue in cheek. It used to have women, with fake moustaches behind the bar and stuff. But they've clearly got rid of that now. I think the O used to have a sort of sign of a girl or a woman with a, like a circle with a red border and a red line going through, sort of a traffic sign with a silhouette of a woman. But clearly that's a thing of the past now, so I think it was always tongue-in-cheek, but I guess they just don't want to risk it these days, in case they get some kind of negative publicity about it. So there we go. So per serving, but 1 bar is a serving, so per bar it's 220 calories, 11.1 grams of fat, 6.2 which is saturates. So I think that's a lot less than the regular. I've just got the regular one here, calorie wise, 248, so yeah, it's a bit less. So I guess because maybe the biscuits or the raisins aren't quite as calorific as chocolate. Now, how much does it weigh? 44 grams. And the regular one weighs 46, so lost 2 grams there, but there we go. Yeah, so the description on the back. Somewhere, is there one? Chunky milk chocolate with raisins, 30%, and biscuits, 4%. There we go. Right, I think we should give it open. It's quite a nice looking. It's a weird colour, isn't it? It's like I guess it is purple. It always looks brown to me for some reason. I don't know why. It is purple, but I've always I always see brown when I see it. So I don't really know why that is, but it's clearly purple. Unless it used to be brown, and I've just not got used to the difference. I wonder if it did used to be brown. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Well, open it straight away, and you can see it's quite full of. I don't know whether they're biscuits or raisins, but it's quite full of stuff, so that's quite good. And you can see it doesn't quite, it doesn't spell out Yorkie anymore. It does say Yorkie on the segments, but it doesn't have a Y, an O, an R, a K, an I, no E, or no Y if you want to start on top. So yeah, so there we go. So clearly has shrunk a bit, but still quite a chunky bar, you'd say. So let's have a look. Yeah, so at the bottom it's about 11.1 long, and wide it's about 3 centimetres, but at the top, because it's obviously these sort of weird flat top pyramids or whatever you'd call them, not pyramids but I don't know, something, 2 centimetres at the top roughly, maybe 1.9. Right, so yes, so it looks quite nice, smells quite nice as well. See there's a bit of a gap between the segments as well, you can see that's not quite as Toblerone levels, but yeah, and you can see the segments sit on a bed of chocolate, like a thin bed, and then so they don't quite go to the sides either. So you can see, so they're kind of getting away with a lot of gaps there, aren't they? Really, as I say, yeah. So there's a good millimetre or two each side, and at the top as well. And there's quite a thick gap between them. So yeah, definitely getting away with a lot of wasted space, they'd say, and less chocolate. Okay, so I've given it a snap. You can see biscuit pieces, and I think you can see some raisins as well there. Just have a look myself. Yeah, I think that's a raisin there sticking out. Can you see that? Good biscuit. That's I'm going to cut one in half so I can see what's going on. So look, it cuts quite softly actually. The other Yorkie was a bit what's it called? A bit chunky, very hard chocolate, but this one's quite soft because it's got the raisins inside. You can see there, that looks like a sultana to me. I'm no expert on sultanas and raisins, but you can see that one in there is like a black colour, and that one there is red, isn't it? It's clearly red. I'm quite sure sultanas, are red. So I don't know. It doesn't say the sultanas in it. It just says raisins. So maybe it's me, but look at the ingredients. Let's have a look. I can see raisins biscuit. I can't see sultanas. Yeah. I can't see, it doesn't say sultanas on it, so maybe, that's just it really. Yeah, it does only say raisins on the side, so maybe that is a raisin and maybe it's just me. But, I don't know. I've always thought it looks a little light. I don't know, maybe there's a raisin. Yeah, maybe there's one. Yeah, okay. There you go. I've eaten it. Yeah, we'll let them off. We'll say it's a raisin, but I don't know. Just I don't know. Okay, never mind. Right, so you can see already the way it was so easy to cut. It's definitely lost what a lot of the Yorkie is about, which is the crunch. I guess they've added some biscuit in there, perhaps to try and add some more crunch back. But when I say the crunch, I mean the chocolate's so it doesn't really melt. It melts in your mouth, but it's more you biting it and it makes a big snap. And you're biting and biting into it. So really, that's the selling point for Yorkie as far as I'm concerned. Because the chocolate traditionally isn't the best chocolate in this Nestlé chocolate, and it really is highlighted when you've just got a big block of it. But as I say, the fact that it's so crunchy, I think it's the thing that I don't think if they changed the recipe for the chocolate, you'd have that effect as much. So I think it's one of those where you can't have one without the other. But whether that's all gone to pot because of the fact they've introduced soft, chewy raisins in there, let's find out. I guess let's have a see. Yeah, there's definitely no. The biscuits are quite soft, quite hard to tell really, quite hard to make out. The raisins have a sharp, raisiny taste. And it's not really to my liking, to be honest with you. It's a bit, rather than sweet, it's just got a sort of sharp. They're quite chewy, but I'm not a big fan of the flavour really, to be honest with you. I'm going to bite it in half, let's see. You can hear then there's still that snap. I think I was a bit lucky then because I think I just broke through straight without any raisin interference. As you can see there, just biscuit. There's only one small raisin in that bit that I just had, and not too bad. But I think the biscuit's so soft, and just nothing really. It's just a really soft biscuit. It doesn't really add any crispness to it at all really. It's just a you're kind of enjoying the biscuit, but then you get a bit of the raisin. You think, I've got to chew this raisin now. I guess if you like raisins, it's not so bad. But the biscuit's so. The thing is, with a Yorkie, the crunch comes from the chocolate, perversely, rather than from the biscuit. In all other chocolates, when you're eating it, you have the biscuit in there or Rice Krispie pieces in there for a crunch. Whereas in this case, because the chocolate's so crunchy in itself, it's so, you heard that snap a minute ago and a bit into it. That's what the chocolate's about. So when you've got these biscuit pieces in there, it actually is softer than the chocolate. So it totally renders them, they just get in the way of the actual crisp bite from the chocolate that you're getting, which is the whole point of the bar. So I really don't, I just don't see the point in this at all. You really lose, you just totally renders, it just makes the bar sort of impotent, really. It just doesn't do what it's meant to do, it's, I'll say the biscuits are just too soft. They don't add a crunch, they take away from the crunch rather than, so, they kind of worsen the bar really. And the raisins, I'm not a big fan of the taste of them, to be honest with you. Some of these fruits, I don't know, raisin sultanas, whatever. I've been enjoying some of the bars, to be honest with you. I've had them in some of the phaser bars and things, and they've been quite nice, but maybe it's just the raisins, I don't know. In this case, they're a bit chewy, and I'm not a big fan of them. The taste is a bit bittery sharp. It's not really for me at all. If you like raisins, I still think you'd be disappointed in this bar because, as I say, they're not that massively prominent in there. They're disappointing for me when I taste one because, again, they're just taken away from the crispness of the Yorkie chocolate. And I say crisp, I'm not really sure what, it's not really crisp, snappiness maybe, I'm not sure. Chunkiness maybe, who knows. But as I say, both of these ingredients are just totally detract from the bar really. If you want a softer bar, which is all these really achieve, then I'd go for a dairy milk or something else. The only reason you go for a Yorkie is to have some really snappy chocolate sensation really when you bite it. Like you heard before, that snap when I bit into it. That's what Yorkie's about. And both of these ingredients just take it away from that, in my view. As I say, the biscuit, normally I'm a massive fan of biscuit and chocolate. But as I say, in this case, it actually softens the chocolate rather than adds a crisp bite to it. And the same with the raisins as well. And there's no taste to the biscuit particularly, more the texture. And the raisins I don't think taste very nice in my view. I'm not a big fan of raisins anyway, to be honest with you, I must say. But I have had other chocolate with raisins in, sultanas in and things. And they've been quite nice and they've added to it. And it's not been, I wouldn't, perhaps wasn't overly bothered, I could have happily not had them in there. But this they're just not very pleasant in this, they were quite nice in the other bars. So, there we go. So yeah, I think for me, I think as a taste, it's not too bad, but I think as a point, there's just no point to this. Yeah, I think a 2 out of 5. I think, just have the regular Yorkie really, or have something else. Is the gist of it. Yeah, so disappointed really, but yeah, there we go. 2 out of 5. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thanks for watching. As always, take care, follow me on Twitter, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again everyone, see you soon. Bye.